When the world saw the headlines, it was already too late. Billionaire CEO caught in scandal, family man no more. Cameras flashed like lightning across the front steps of the Calderon Corporation. Inside those tall glass walls, Ethan Calderon, one of the most respected tech moguls in the country, stood still, his world collapsing with every headline that screamed his name. All it took was one photo, one rumor, and the reputation he had built over 15 years was crumbling. His investors were pulling out, shareholders demanding explanations, and his board whispering words that tasted like betrayal. We need a stable image, something wholesome, something believable. And that's when Ethan turned to the only person he could trust, the one woman who knew his home better than anyone, who tucked his son in every night, who made sure breakfast was ready no matter how broken the morning felt. Her name was Clara Mendez. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the beauty of love that grows from unexpected places, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Every click helps us spread more stories that remind the world that hope still lives in the quietest corners of the heart. Clara had been Ethan's live-in nanny for almost 2 years. She was 29, gentle-spoken but strong, with a calm warmth that made even silence feel safe. Life had taught her the hard way how to be resilient. She'd lost her husband in an accident 3 years ago, and ever since, she'd poured her love into caring for others. When Ethan hired her to care for his 6-year-old son, Noah, she had no idea she'd end up becoming a part of their family in ways that went beyond a job description. But that morning, when Ethan knocked on her door with dark circles under his eyes and a tremor in his voice, her heart froze. He looked exhausted, broken in a way that had nothing to do with lack of sleep. "Clara," he said quietly, "I need your help. Not as my employee, as my friend." He explained how the scandal had painted him as an irresponsible father, accused of being too busy, too cold, too distracted. Investors wanted to see a family man. The board had given him 30 days to fix his image or lose control of his own company. His solution sounded absurd even to him. "Clara, I need you to pretend to be my wife. Just for a month." She blinked, stunned. "Your wife?" "Yes. Publicly. Just long enough for the press to see that I'm not some heartless CEO. That Noah has a loving mother figure. You're the only person I trust with this." Her mind raced. It was madness. What would people think? But when she saw the desperation in his eyes and then looked at little Noah playing in the garden, innocent and unaware, her heart softened. This wasn't about power or money. This was about saving a father's future and protecting a child's world. And so, with trembling hands and a heart that didn't know what it was getting into, she whispered, "All right, Ethan. I'll do it." The transformation began immediately. Overnight, tabloids shifted from scandal to curiosity. Who was Ethan Calderon's mysterious wife? They attended charity events together, their photos gracing every magazine cover. Ethan's hand rested lightly on her back during interviews, his eyes soft whenever they looked her way. To the world, it was a perfect love story reborn from ashes. But behind the cameras, Clara's heart battled between reality and illusion. At first, it was all rehearsed, hand-holding, smiles, gentle glances. But something unexpected happened in the quiet moments that followed. One evening, after a long press dinner, Clara found Ethan sitting by the piano, his son asleep in his lap. The man who once seemed made of stone now looked fragile, human. He confessed how hard it had been raising Noah alone after his wife left years ago, chasing fame instead of family. He never believed in love after that. "I thought money could fill the silence," he said, eyes glistening. "But it doesn't." Clara listened, her heart aching. She understood silence too well. She'd lived with it every night since losing her husband. And maybe that's why something inside her began to heal every time Ethan smiled, every time Noah called her mommy without thinking. Days turned into weeks, and soon, pretending didn't feel like pretending anymore. She'd wake up to the smell of coffee he made for her before work, find notes on the fridge that said, "Thank you for holding us together." They began to share real laughter, real worries, real warmth. But both knew the truth, this was supposed to end. 1 month, that was the deal. Still, the heart doesn't follow contracts. When the company's annual gala arrived, the event that would mark the end of their marriage, the air was heavy with unspoken feelings. Clara wore a soft ivory gown, simple yet breathtaking, and when Ethan saw her walking down the staircase, he forgot for a moment that it was all fake. The cameras flashed, the crowd cheered, and under the golden lights, he whispered something that wasn't in the script: "You look like the reason I started believing in miracles again." That night, they danced slowly, lost in music, in a story that wasn't supposed to be real. For a few precious minutes, the world faded away. It was just them, two broken souls who accidentally began to fit together. But fairy tales built on lies have to face the truth eventually. The next morning, the scandal was officially over. His company's image had been saved. Investors were back. The board congratulated him. The media called them the perfect family. And yet, as the spotlight dimmed, silence crept back into their home. The contract was over. The pretense had served its purpose. Clara packed her things quietly that evening. Noah clung to her leg, crying, "Don't go, Mommy. Daddy loves you." Ethan stood by the doorway, his jaw tight, unable to speak. When she turned to leave, he finally said, "Clara, thank you for everything." She smiled faintly through tears. "It was never about pretending, Ethan. It was about reminding you that love doesn't have to be perfect to be real." She walked away, leaving behind a silence deeper than before. A days passed, but Ethan couldn't shake the emptiness. His house felt colder, his son quieter, his own reflection more foreign. He realized too late that the woman who pretended to be his wife had taught him what real family meant. Every corner of the house carried traces of her laughter. The mug she used for tea. The blanket she wrapped around Noah. The way sunlight used to pour in when she opened the curtains every morning.